Happy Monday, everybody, and welcome to the Wildflower Wills YouTube channel. I'm Louise, and it's Monday, and it is another cast on day here at Wildflower Will. You all know, I think most of you that are watching live tonight are here pretty much every Monday night, and you know the drill by now, right? Every Monday morning, there's a post put up over on Instagram stories, the feed, Facebook page, and here on YouTube. And you get to vote for something. You get to vote for yarn, you get to vote for a project, a technique, and and then whatever the winning vote is, that's what I cast on for this week's project. This is an extra special Monday night because you guys, I have finishes. I know. I do not start most podcasts off by saying I have finishes. I have not one, not two, but three finishes this week. So I'm going to be super excited after we're done chatting. I'm going to be updating my whiteboard back here. I've got three finishes that's going to help balance my scale of cast-ons and finishes. So we're going to talk about what you all were voting on, what the project's going to be, and then my finishes and a couple of things that I'm going to work on to work towards more finishes for this week. And then we'll chat about a little bit about what you all are working on. And we can also do just a quick little um, Sock Madness update because Sock Madness has finished. And let me see if I can pull this up here. Um, I was taking a look at the Ravelry thread earlier today. So let me get it pulled up here. And then we can chat a little bit about that. So, this week's project is going to be another pair of socks. I am in a sock knitting phase here. I'm really looking at doing some shorty socks for the summer. And so, if I want shorty socks, it is the time to do it. Okay, I'm just looking here. Let me just see. Okay. Oh, wait. Just pulling up I think this is what I want. Um, okay, we'll see. Chances are I didn't pull up the answer, open the right one. Anyways, we'll talk about Sock Madness a little bit later. Chances are somebody, Jen, I see is here. She may have been following along Sock Madness and have some updates on it too. So, what you were voting for today was some yarn that I bought this weekend while I was away at our retreat, our annual knitting retreat weekend. Oh, this stuff is so, so soft, which I'm not so sure if super soft yarn is a good thing for socks, but we're going to give it a try. And it's going to be a little bit of experiment. So, along with this urge to knit all the shorties, I also want to do a lot of experimenting. I've knit a ton of socks, but most of them have always been a heel flap and gusset, and I'm going to switch that around. Every pair of socks, I'm going to do a different heel and just try them out, and then I don't know, kind of rate them as how I like knitting them, how I like wearing them, and then see, kind of give it, I don't know, a number out of out of five. What my kind of verdict is on the heel. Anyways, these minis, I saw minis and I was like, oh, I'm like addicted to minis right now, you guys. So when I saw these, I could not resist. The first ones I found were the green and the yellow. And I would have taken two more in the green and yellow, but of course you didn't have them. And this is very odd because most times, like, well, I could see green is popular, but yellow, not so much. There's always tons of yellows and oranges. It's the pinks, the purples, the blues, those kind of colors that get picked up quicker, but not this time. The orange or the green and the yellow, these were all that was left. So then I picked up this blue. I looked at gray, and then I went for one that was kind of a bluey gray, and I really like these three together. So, um, I picked up these and thought, okay, I'm going to do a little pair of shorty socks. This should be, fingers crossed, enough to do a pair of shorty socks. If it's not, the toes will be a different color. I'll find something, maybe a navy or something, to do the toe, and I'm not gonna stress about that. What I really just want to do is knit with this yarn. So this is what it is. It is a Manos yarn Fino. extra fine merino, and silk. So there's no nylon, but silk is supposed to be super, super strong, stronger than nylon. So we're going to give it a go. I did take a little quick look on Ravelry for this yarn to see what people had used it for. Some people had used it for socks, not very many. Most of the times it was sweaters, shawls, well, pretty much anything other than socks. But there were a few pairs of socks knit out of it. So I'm going to try this. I have never knit socks that have silk in them. I think in the past, I was probably always thinking that something with silk that is just so soft and luxurious would be something that I would want to wear, like as a cowl, as a shawl, and not put something so super fancy on my feet. But I'm changing that way of thinking. Why do my feet not deserve something super luxurious? So I'm switching that up. And silk it is for this pair of socks. Um, I bought this yarn with a gradient pattern in mind. But then when I woke up this morning and I was lying in bed thinking, what am I going to do with these minis? All of a sudden I was like, ooh, what about stranded? Would that some kind of stranded pattern? And I wasn't sure if I would do the whole thing stranded or just do like little flowers because there's still a week left in the Fiber Friends flower month challenge. I thought, ooh, I could just do a little row of flowers around the cuff and get another, well, no, I'm not going to say finish, but another project started for the flower challenge. So that was my decision. And I couldn't really decide. I'm like, ooh, I like both these ideas. So I left it up to you to decide for me. And it was way one-sided, you guys. There were a lot of great comments. I love how you guys sit and you kind of think about what I am proposing and then give me some feedback. And there was like, some really good comments. Now, I think it was Dawn who had said, I don't know if there's enough contrast in these colors for a really good color work project. And you might be right because like I said, I did pick them out as a fade and like these two probably would blend together. There might not be a real good contrast, but I'm thinking the blue and the yellow might have a good contrast for um, some stranded. So stranded is just another word for feral, if that's something that you're not familiar with. So some color work would be pretty. So let's see. Oh, I think Nikki also commented that stranded socks. When you knit stranded, you're always carrying the second color strand along so you get a double thick sock. If I'm knitting shorties, do I want a sock that's double thickness? Might be too warm for summer. Also a very valid point, something to consider. What else was there? The color, the stranded, um, fading. This was also Nikki. Nikki had lots of good points today. Fading on the opposite side of the coin might be having 3 balls of yarn and your yarn management with 3 different balls and trying to fade them might be a bit of a yarn management issue because last week I had talked about so I cast on a pair of faded socks last week as well. And I was talking about doing those, the whole thing faded. So I think that's what Nikki's talking about is having 3 strands on the go. Could be a little bit challenging, annoying, or it could be totally doable. It might, but that is also a consideration. If something like that, being super finicky like that, may be enough that you may not want to do that. Um, what else? There was lots and lots and lots of votes tonight, but it was definitely leaning one way. So I will tell you, we had typically our right around our same number of votes again, and the winner was about 72, 73, 70 something percent for how I'm going to do this. It's either going to be faded or it's going to be stranded. So Liz is giving us our drum roll. So for all of you who voted, the winning sock knitting technique, I guess is what we're going to call it, this week is going to be faded. So there was a few people who were really, they're like, oh, I'd love to see it stranded, but most people are like, do a fade. And I think these will look really, really pretty faded together with there's like the yarn itself is tonal and then fading them. And I think again, I want to blend all three of them together. The whole entire sock is what I want to do with these. Hi Bernadette. Hi Susanna. Susanna, did I just see a quick glance in the comments that you had to put your cat down yesterday? I'm so sorry to hear that. Um, yeah, that's always hard. So I was trying. Leslie didn't have to work today. That's always wonderful. Okay. Well, you guys, faded shorties again. It is. I'm so excited about this. I want to have a few pairs of shorty socks. I don't think right now I have any. I knit one pair, probably the last pair I did was really too short and they didn't stay on my foot very well. I think that was the time I was trying to get a pair of shorty socks out of one 50-gram ball of Croy. Didn't work very well for me. Um, so I really don't wear them. I should probably just maybe pull them out. I don't know what I should do with them. Anyways, that's a problem for another day. So faded socks, you guys. Thank you to everybody who voted. This is going to be lovely. So, okay, let's talk before we move on to the um the other projects that I have to show you. Okay, I'm going to take a deep breath before I ask this. Tell me what you guys think about the silk. Yay or nay? Good idea? Something you would not do? I mean, I'm going to do it anyways, but I'd like to know what you guys think. I'm always hesitant. I'm always hesitant. I always never. I never buy sock yarn that does not have nylon in it for socks, right? I'll buy fingering weight yarn. If it's 100% merino, I'll buy it and knit a shawl out of it. But I chatted. So these skeins came from Linda's Craftique. So when we go to the retreat house, we always take the short little drive to Linda's Craftique because two reasons. Um, Linda herself is absolutely lovely. She is so friendly. She's so knowledgeable. She is fantastic at helping people pick colors. The last 2 years in a row, one of the girls we went with has been looking for colors to do a sweater project. And we sit there and we're looking at DK is what we were looking for this trip. And we're looking and we're trying to put stuff together. And finally I'm like, you know what, let's just ask Linda. And she came up with something totally different that we hadn't even considered, and it looks amazing. So she has a real skill for that. Um, so I asked her, I'm like, okay, would you do socks with this? I'm like, no nylon always makes me nervous, right? I know silk is strong and it's also warm. And who did I see here? Lynn. Lynn said silk is very strong. And that's exactly what Linda said. She said silk is actually stronger than nylon. So I'm like, okay, we're gonna try it. Um, Hi Diane. Okay, Sally, see, that's been always my thought. Sally's saying I wouldn't use yarn without nylon for my socks. And I think I just had a bad experience like many, 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 like 20 plus years ago when my kids were little and I didn't know any better. I bought a sock knitting book and it was worsted weight. Well, no, because I use Canadiana, no, Patton's Astra, which is like a sport DK weight. Anyways, it was a Patton's book and it was using all their yarns, but they were all acrylic. And I didn't know any better. I'm like, here I am. I'm trusting the pattern book. It's telling me use Astra, 100% acrylic for a pair of socks. I knit them. I think Anita had them. I remember they were purple and they had black cuff, heel, and toe, and they were purple and they were like these little things because she was probably, well, I'm maybe not little, but she was probably like 7 or something. And I knit her these socks and she wore them one day running around on a carpet playing with a friend. She had holes wore through them in one day. And so that was it for me. So then I've always had that thought about it has to have nylon. But I'm thinking the silk should be a good replacement for this. So this is going to be a pair, and maybe that's why they're just going to be shorties too. Is it's an experiment, and if they wear really well, then I'll know. If they don't, then I'll know, and I won't do it again. But you never know until you try. So I am willing to, forego a pair of shorties if it doesn't turn out well and they don't wear well, then I can at least say I can try. And hopefully they'll last me for at least the summer. And if they wear through, then I can go to Kitchener or Wilstock and I just lost the vendor's name. Oh shoot, the ones that have the fancy sock darning thing. What is it? It's for darning your socks. And does anybody I saw them at last weekend at Knit City, Toronto. I can picture their sign. It's like mend it, mending. Oh, we'll see. Anyways, Liz, how hard are you on my socks? Well, I don't think that hard, but most of my socks are Croy, and Croy is kind of like the workhorse. Like they're pretty tough and strong. So I guess a mending loom. Yeah, Sherry, it's like a mending loom. I mean, this mending loom is over $100, which is what has stopped me from buying it in the past. But if these get a hole in them, I might want to actually mend them and I might need a fancy loom. I know I can do it without a loom. I mean, you can weave your working yarn in and up and down in the new mend, right? I mean, I know I could do that. But I feel like I really need this loom. Oh, Sally's got a good question. Does silk give like nylon does? I have no idea. I don't know. That is a really good question. I don't know. Oh, Susanna, of course. You go get a good night's sleep. I'm so glad that you popped in. And sometimes it's good. Hopefully, for a little bit here, we were able to take your mind off kind of the bad day that you've had today. So get a good night's sleep, and I hope you're feeling better tomorrow. Sherry, tools are always fun. I know, aren't they? They're like my need to have every pom pom maker on the market. I need to have this weaving loom. Hey, hi, Sue Ann. Oh, there was a sock pattern on Ravelry called Blender socks. Okay, like fading socks. It's free and looks fun for scraps or maybe tonals. Thank you so much. I will go look that up. Blender socks. I love that. I mean, my first thought is I'm thinking blender, milkshake blender, right? But blender, like fading, right? Perfect. I love that. What a fun name for that. I love it. Hi, Mary. Let's see. Yeah, mending loom. Tools. Oh, I only use silken shawls and wraps. See, and that, Sally, I feel like we are on the same wavelength here. That's what I've always done in the past too, but I feel like I'm switching it up. I think my feet deserve silk. It is so soft. It's wonderful. I am going to try it and I really, really, really hope. My gut feeling is saying that they're going to wear fine. Now, the extra fine merino, that might be the downfall of these socks. Maybe not the silk, but the merino is soft. But if I get one summer wear out of these, if I have to darn them, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I'm just going to carry on. I'm going to make fancy socks that I can wear this summer when I don't know when I don't know when I'm out walking when the nights get cool. Like tonight has cooled off. It's beautiful. So it would be the perfect night to have a little pair of shorty socks on. Oh, Sally, you love Premier Fruit yarns too. Are they the ones that are all cotton, or are they the vegan ones? Are they vegan yarns? I was doing a deep dive into sock yarns on the weekend. While we were knitting, I was like searching all these sock yarns and trying to look at other ones that I want to try. Like I said, I am really jumping all in on sock knitting. I want to try different yarns that I've never tried, which is why we have silk, and different heels, different toes, different anything. I am just all about trying it all. Oh, Sherry can't wait for my beach knitting videos. Our first beach knitting day is coming up. I think it's in 2 weeks. It's the first Saturday in June, which might even be this weekend. Oh my gosh. May has just gone by so quick. Yes, actually, it might actually be this weekend. Oh, good morning from Japan. Oh, Sarah? Well, hello, Sarah. Welcome. Sarah, do you have any input on sock yarn with silk as opposed to nylon? I'm open to all opinions. Good, bad, extra questions. Ask a question. Maybe somebody else will know. Oh, bamboo. Yes. See, and I have a friend who can't wear wool, so she often knits socks with a combination of cotton and bamboo, and they feel lovely. Oh, did I hit it Saturday? What did I? Oh, actually, okay, I'm not even sure. Did I say something, Diane? Actually, Sunday is our first knitting, not Saturday. Anyways, um, okay, let me see. Liz, I will have to do some searching, but I think they sell an add-in nylon wool thread to add to wool socks reinforced. Yes, they do. They do. You can get little spools of it. Some, sorry, you guys. Yes, some yarn shops do have that reinforcement thread, so you can hold it double with 100% wool. I have never done that. I should add that to my list of sock adventure knitting to try and see. I'm sure it works just fine. But, oh, okay. We did have a conversation about that somewhere along the line. That reinforcement thread, do you carry it all the way around? So you do your, well, okay, so if we're going to do cuff down, you do your cuff, you do your leg, then you would pick up the reinforcement thread. You would do your heel, but then what do you do with it if you want like the ball of your foot? I suppose you could cut it. Would you knit the foot of your sock with just your wool and then pick it up and then knit all the way around with the thread? I think this is what we were talking about before, was what do you do with that if you just want it on the bottom? Like would you be able to see it if you carried it double across the top of your foot? All of these burning questions about socks, right? Um, feet deserve silk and cashmere. I think you're right, Jocelyn. I think you are right. Sherry, I saw an Instagram ad from Milk Yarn. Very cool. So what is it? So they're using like the byproduct from milk. I mean, I've had yarn that was made out of banana leaves at one time. However, they did that. Milk yarn. Okay, so we're gonna have to try that. Somebody's gonna have to try it. Okay, Lynn is saying, okay. Oh, Genghis Khan's army used silk in their armor. People thought they were invincible because the arrows bounced off them. So then they should be fine for my socks. Is that what you're saying? Um, is it Lake Ontario? No, it's Lake Erie because we're a little farther west. Lake Ontario is by Toronto. Hi, Paula. Good morning. Bernadette, on her last episode, Nancy Wheeler, Knits Up Happy podcast, showed several commercial sock yarns that she purchased, so you could check that out. Yes, I saw that she had just posted or uploaded a new um, podcast. Oh, Diane, June 1st is Saturday. This Saturday. That is just blowing my mind. We should have at least another week. That's right, because Friday is the last day of May and Saturday when the Fiber Friends podcast, it's June. You are right, which means then Sunday is beach day for me. Huh. Yes, I should get prepared for that. I need to pull out a sun hat and sunscreen and yes. Oh, that's so fun. Oh, the milk yarn is from a site called Sheepless Yarns. Okay, that's a great option. I would that would be fun to try and just I'm sure it's lovely. Fruit yarn is an acrylic and oh my goodness, PBT blend. Poly so is that like nylon, basically? Interesting. Where do my socks wear out? Well, you know what, Nancy? They never real well, maybe on the ball of my foot. Uh, I don't think ever on the heel, on the ball, but I'm not so sure if they didn't wear out or if I caught them on like a nail on a hardwood floor. But I know that's why I love Christ so much is that they really, really wear well. But anyways, I'm gonna try out some of these other yarns and we're gonna see how they compare. Milk protein. That's exciting. What? Diane's already used it. Diane, you made a top out of milk yarn. So thumbs up, thumbs down. Would you do it again? Super soft, she says. Now, I wonder if it's like cotton and doesn't have a lot of stretch. Like, well, right? I mean, wool, it has that bounce, that um, bounce back where other fibers don't. So I would think that would be the same kind of issue like we would have with cotton. But it might be fun to try, right? Yes, yes. Sherry wants to know all about the milk yarn. Okay, Liz says just for areas that you tend to wear out. I do not wear out socks in one area more than another. Okay. Oh, Alyssa, at least. I didn't think an ocean like usual. You're right. Yep, you were right on with the Great Lakes. You were super, super close. Oh, thumbs up, Diane says about the milk yarn. That's awesome. Okay, so fades, you guys. I'm like so excited. I'm gonna go bind these guys tonight. Okay, last week's. Let's start off talking about some of the other stuff here. Let me find it. Oh, I have got just a bunch of stuff here to show you all, and I think no, wrong bag. Let me put this one back for a second. Last week's sock. So last week's sock has this much of a start, but I started as a start. But you'll let me off the hook once you see my three finishes. Three finishes, you guys. So there's the start of my sock from last week. These were the minis from Knit City, Toronto, and the booth they came from was Coats and Co. She's a dyer from Ohio, and I've got two of the balls wound up already, two not wound yet. But I've got the orange, the kind of salmony corally color, and then the darker that's going to go in there. So I've got these two ready to go. I think I'm just going to do the cuff in this and then start fading. So I've got a start. It's on the needles. So now I'll be ready to just pick it up. I find I have to get it on the needles. If I don't have it on the needles, then some nights I avoid that project because I don't feel like I want to find the needles, cast on, and I don't know. I just want to pick up and just start knitting. So now that I have it started here, I'm good to go. I just did a long tail cast on and 2x2 ribbing. Gonna do that for about an inch, I think probably about an inch. And then I'm gonna start fading for another inch and then I'm gonna do a heel, and I don't know what kind of heel I'm going to do on this yet. Maybe a Flegel heel? That one keeps popping up, so I think that one may be the next one that I do. So this is gonna be fun. So I'm gonna have 2 fades on the go at one time, which is gonna be a lot of fun to see um, how they both work up. Susie, you are absolutely right. So Summer Lee has a YouTube about how she does the fade socks to mix yarns. I don't have her book here with me right now. Oh, this is my City Toronto bag. I bought her book like a month ago at a new, not a new, well, a little yarn shop that hasn't been open for quite a year here. The first time I was there was a month or so ago, and I picked up Summer Lee's sock project, I think is what the book is called. And you're right, she does talk in there about how to do like the perfect fade or something. So I thought I need to make use of those books that I bought. I don't want it to just be a coffee table book. So I am going to follow her her recipe for at least one pair of socks to see how I like it. Again, something I want to try all these things. So I'm going to kind of mix and match. I'm going to keep very detailed Ravelry notes every sock of things that I have tried. And then at kind of at the end of the year, end of the summer, I can go back and look and see what I tried, what I like, what I didn't, and then kind of pick and choose. From this sock, I did this, this, this. I liked this. This sock, I did this, this, and this. I liked this and this. And then combine those in to kind of get my perfect recipe of socks. That's what I'm hoping I can get out of all of this. Let's see here. Oh, hi Bonnie. I have used the milk protein yarn. I think it was, a company called, oh, what is that? I can't, the type is so small. Barlista. I knit it with alpaca. Oh, and the socks are holding up beautifully, very soft and nice to knit with. Okay, Bonnie. Okay, so you use the milk protein for socks with, it was bamboo? Oh no, alpaca. That is super exciting, and they're holding up really well. Very soft and nice to knit with. That is great to know. Oh, Paula, you love the Flegel heel. I have not knit the Flegel heel. I know it's in Summer's book. That was what I think there's 5 different heels in there. Let me see if I can remember. The Flegel heel was one. There was an afterthought heel, a forethought heel, heel flap and gusset. Don't know for sure what the 5th one is, but I'm thinking it's got to be a short row, maybe just a short row heel. I don't know. I'm guessing at that. So, but there's 5 different heels in there. Oh, Sally says she has detailed instructions on fading. Yes, that's a great book. Yes, I've heard it's a really good book. I haven't actually used it. I just kind of pick it up before I go to bed and I like flip through and I'll read a page here or there, just look at the pretty socks before I go to bed. It's it's great for that. So now I'm actually excited to actually like read through it and like try some of the heels that she suggests. Oh, Kim, you sent a picture on Instagram, the fruity yarn socks. Okay, I will check that. Okay, so I'm caught up with the comments. So let's continue on. So that was last week's sock, which is cast on, and then I just set it aside because retreat socks. Retreat socks. Remember last week? I don't know where I was. I think last week I was just finishing the heel, possibly on my sock number 2. And then, so right after Knit City Toronto, which was so much fun. I went away for a few days with my mom, just her and I, and we had, oh my gosh, we had so much fun, her and I. It was absolutely incredible. But we were outside, we were in the bush, we were hiking, we had a full day. So I did not get a lot of knitting done. And then by the time we got back to the cottage, I was exhausted. So I did not get as much knitting done um, as I thought I would at the beginning of the week. But I did manage to get both of my retreat socks finished. It was a little down to the wire. I needed them Friday morning to wear when we left to go to the retreat. So Thursday morning I woke up and I had picked up gusset stitches and I had just started decreasing them. So I was maybe here. So I knit the whole foot of my sock on Thursday, which is plain. So it was not, I was not rushed at all. I just sat, I watched some garden YouTube videos, and I just knit, knit, knit. I took a few breaks here or there. I think Eric came over to visit. We went out and did some gardening. I went to my nephew's concert, his last high school concert, and I was working on the toe while I was there. And I had them done Thursday night. Like, there was no staying up till past midnight. There was no getting up early Friday morning to finish the towing and then quickly Kitchener stitch it. I had it done with, like, hours, lots of time to spare. It was very exciting and a kind of a new concept for me. But anyways, I got these socks finished and we took them to the retreat, and because it had been fairly warm here last week, and it was, like, super warm. It was, like, warm, warm summer weather. I thought, "Oh my gosh, here we are. We had these plans to wear wool socks to the retreat, and it's gonna be way too warm to wear socks." Well, we were far enough north, and then the temperature kinda cooled down that we needed socks. So you would not have want to go without socks. So it was perfect. We all got to wear our matching retreat socks, and it was such a fun project, and I got them done, which was even better because I was kinda starting to worry a little bit. But it all worked out. Hi, Sam. Um, I know, now that's getting done just in time. I know. It was close, but I still had some time to spare. I've cut it a lot closer on other projects. Oh, 9-inch circulars? I knit these on DPNs. Yes, I had these on DPNs, but yeah, 9-inch circulars are now my favorite way to do socks. Oh, okay, so Alyssa, so you're saying my dad still wears wool, um, no handmade socks in California so you're saying so wool because it wicks so well? Yeah, there's lots of great advantages to wool socks, right? Even in the summer. That's true. So anyways, finish number 1, you guys, pair of socks. So, my other finish that you may have seen if you watched Cheryl and I podcast Saturday, I got my sweater done. And I wore it on Saturday when we went out yarn shopping. I wore it. So Cheryl felt sorry for me. I was sitting at the retreat house and there's this beautiful enclosed sun porch with all windows and big tables and a great lighting. And I was knitting. I don't know. No, probably not. I don't know. One of these sleeves. I was knitting one of these sleeves, and I had it on an old circular needle, not a new fancy one. I was using what I had, and the join was not the best, and the cable was really stiff, but it was working. It was working. Cheryl was sitting down the table from me, and she's like, "For heaven's sakes, Louise, what size needles are you knitting with?" And she's like, pulls out her chocolate. She's like, "Here, what length cable do you want?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm fine." She's like, "No." She's like, "You were struggling with that." She's like, "I can't stand it anymore." Like, "Here." So she gave me a needle. And honestly, what was what was really slowing me down was the fact that I had a really long cable. So I would knit part way, then I was, pull. I was trying to do like a cheater magic loop kind of thing. And so anyways, Cheryl was so kind. I was using 5 millimeter needles with this yarn and a really short cable. So I probably had about a 16-inch needle. And so I could just knit round and round and round and round and round. which I love. It's like why I like my little 9-inch square socks. Round and round and round, no stopping. So that definitely sped it up. And I spent most of the day because I was probably, I don't know, like here. And so I knit most of this. I got down to the ribbing just before bed, and then I finished the ribbing first thing in the morning. And then I wore it Saturday because, like I said, it had cooled down. And we went yarn shopping on Saturday. So there's my sweater, boat neck. And then they just have nice wide bell sleeves, I guess is what you call them. It's just super cozy and comfy. It's really lightweight and it's lovely. So, second finish for this week. And I wore it. And all the ends are darned in. It's amazing. This whole thing, having some vacation time, it's amazing what I can get done. Let's see. Hi, Debbie. Oh, you've seen the Fleagle heel for toe up. Is there a good video for top down? That's a really good question. I haven't even gotten that far to look at the Fleagle heel to see if it is only for toe up or can it be done, excuse me, so sorry, both ways. I don't know. I guess I should investigate that. Or maybe these socks will be toe up. Does anybody else know? I saw a couple people here. Did somebody say that the Fleagle heel was one that they liked? I'm not sure. Hi, Cindy. That's okay. There's no time. You just pop in whenever you can. The winner, it was the fade. Everybody, well, like 73% of people, which is almost everybody, voted for fade. Yes, so I'm excited for that. Okay, so Cindy, in case you missed it, 2 finishes, my socks and my sweater. And then I have one more. I was knitting on this like crazy, trying to get this finished. You might be able to guess which one it is because it's one that I have been showing every week for like ever. Well, since February. I'm pretty sure my whiteboard tells me that I cast it on in February and it is now finished. This seemed like a long time coming, but my cherry pit shawl. So I had it in my Delicue project bag, which I absolutely love. Look at this. It's done. It's cast. Oh, no. Good job. I caught myself. The ends are not woven. Okay. Darn. I should have done that. But, anyways, they're not woven. I have a project marker on here. Yes. So, right there, that's where I was last week. So, I added that much. So, that was the tip. So, I've got this much more length, that much more length, and a few inches of extra height on there. And it's done. So, I know, still done. I know. Weaving in ends doesn't really. Daisy, what are you doing? Daisy's Daisy is chasing the ends. She is she's been having lots of fun chasing my yarn lately. So, okay. So here it is. All done. So asymmetrical. And it turned out pretty good size. I can't even remember what needle I was using on this. Maybe a 4. Kind of always do like a 3.75 or a 3.5 for sock yarn and shawls, but I know I went up a needle size because I wanted something that was going to be like really super drapey, and I just wanted it to be as big as it possibly could be. So look at this. I like this. I like this a lot. I think I'm keeping this. I don't think this is going to go in the gift box. But look at that. Isn't that, if I do say so myself, I think it is lovely. I think it turned out amazing. And I don't even have the ball band with me. to tell you. I just remember the colorway was called Cherry Pits, and it's lovely. I like it a lot. Beautiful color. I know. I know, Liz. 3 finishes. 3 finishes. Super excited about that. I worked long and hard on this one, trying to um trying to get it finished. So I my ball, right? It was like little. I was knitting from the outside. I've got a stitch marker. Don't even ask what I'm doing here. Hold on, just pretend this is a normal everyday thing. Um, there. I'm unattached. A light bulb marker caught in my hair. That is, I mean, every knitter must have that problem, right? Um, Anyways, yeah, so I was working hard on this. And I knitted all continental. I have to there's been a couple of projects that I have. This one was all continental. I did another scarves and seed stitch continental. I I mean that's only 2 full projects, but I've knit some other things. I think I forgot which way I was knitting, so I would pick it up and I would do continental or English, just whatever I felt like. But I've been knitting continental enough now that I pick up a project and without thinking about it, I pick up the yarn in my left hand. So I'm thinking that is a sign that I can almost say I am a continental knitter now. But anyways, I'm really happy about this. So this is going to get checked off my whiteboard. Now my sweater, unfortunately, is not on my whiteboard because it was from last November. It was supposed to have been a Christmas sweater. Uh, anyways, it's a finish from last year, which is good. I've reclaimed a pair of needles, and my retreat socks were the second cast on of the year, which is good and bad because it's another finish from a January start, but it's also a little embarrassing that a plain vanilla pair of socks took me from second week of January to almost the end of May to get finished. Anyways, they are done. We're not going to dwell on the fact that I just took my time and enjoyed every stitch of that yarn for as long as possible. Oh my goodness. Oh, Sam, the mosaic pattern I designed, I did it for you, Louise. Oh, it's not working out. That's okay. You're trying to figure it out. Well, that's exactly what designing is. Very often it does not work out the first time. You got to kind of get a game plan in your head, maybe chart it out, then you got to start knitting it, and then that's where you work out the kinks. So just keep going. Just keep going with it. That's all part of the process. Clearing the needles, that's right. And that's what June is for the Fiber Friends. It's a get her done. It's to gather up all those partially finished projects and then see what you've got, what you want to work on, if there's any that are close, and get her done. Yeah. So I'm already in that mode a little bit ahead of time. So much fun. Okay, so since I got my asymmetrical garter stitch shawl finished, you guys might know that I lots of times I say I always like to have one on the needles because for me, it is my mindless knitting. It's good for, doctor's appointments, anywhere where you got to sit and wait, kids' sports, summer vacation, sitting at the beach, you're at knit night, you have a Zoom knit night call with your friends. It is so easy because there's nothing to count, there's no stitches, there's no rows. You just look at which where your increases are and you just know what to do. So, guess what I found? I found another one that is just started. Safe to say that this was probably cast on last November, December, and probably November, thinking that I would have it done and I would have worn it the whole month of December. That did not happen last year, but it will happen for this year because now this is the one that now I'm just looking at it though, thinking, how did I do my increases on this? Was it yarn over or knit front and back? Hmm. Does it matter if I switch? I like doing yarn overs. I think we're just going to carry on with yarn overs. I don't think anybody's going to know. I don't think. I think it'll be fine. I'm just going to carry on. Knit front and back is fine, but I just find yarn overs. I don't know. I like doing it better, so that's what I'm going to carry on with. But yes, my Christmas yarn. So this is the one that I'm going to carry around with me now. And when I just want some mindless knitting, just before bed, or any of those, we all know where all the scenarios are. This is the one that I'm going to pick up and just work a few rows here and there, kind of like my cherry pit one. So it'll be on the needles for a few months probably, but it'll just get longer and longer and it'll be done. And that's the plan. I'm going to wear this. Um, oh my gosh, I should have this ready for when the first Hallmark Christmas movie comes out, which, if it was like last year, it was kind of like the third week in October. Just a little early, I will have to say. I would really like them to start Christmas movies to start November 1st, but I'm not in charge of Hallmark channels. So, but this, I think I should have this ready to wear the first night that Hallmark movies kick off. That would be there's my goal. And that's not going to be till October, so hopefully by then I will have it done. Oh, okay. Cindy says you like knit front and back better. Now, do you like knitting it better or do you like the look of it better? Um, Liz, can I can you do it without your Hallmark movies? I don't know. I like my Hallmark movies. Oh, Jocelyn. Oh, I mean, Halloween will hit the shelves in the next 2 months in some places. I know. It is a little crazy. And I mean, we all know the whole life of retail workers, right? I guess you got to be ahead of the curve for people who like to, it just is what it is, right? Even though it drives us a little crazy. But anyways, so I got a new shawl. So I get one finished and now I've got another one that I'm going to work on. Oh, Cindy, you like the look better. Okay. And that's good to know, right? I yeah, I don't know. Lately I had one. I remember I was kind of going back and forth and I did one with the knit front and back and then the next one I did with yarn over. And the biggest thing, well, that obviously totally confused me, right? Because then I was like, oh, which one's which? And then thinking, of course, I didn't write it down because I was going to remember. And we all know how that never works out. So now I just do yarn overs. and, but yeah, knit front and back looks nice too. Lynn, you're knitting an, oh, what is that? Oolong socks by Amy Share. Do they count for flower month with the Fiber Friends? Um, I don't Do they have flowers on them? If they have flowers on them, then yes. Or is oolong? What is oolong? Am I supposed to know what that is? Sam, Louise, want to guess how many dishcloths I have done so far? I don't know. Probably some super crazy big number. Um, yeah, exactly. Alyssa, yeah, I know. Jocelyn probably, I'm sure, has got some Halloween decorations still stuck up somewhere in the corner of her house. Oh, Alyssa's guessing 42. Sally, okay. Have I watched Bridgerton? Yes and no. I started to watch. Okay, so last week I was gonna watch season 3, and then I got the bright idea that I should just rewatch season 1 and 2. And well, that didn't quite happen. So then last night when I got home from the retreat weekend, I thought, okay, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna watch the new season of Bridgerton. But then I started watching the first episode of season 3 and I thought, "Oh, I really need to refresh what happened in season 2." So, I stopped the new season and I went back and I'm just going to watch season 2 again. So, I started season 2. So I want to extend the anticipation for the new Bridgerton as long as possible. And then but then I also know there's only 4 episodes, right? Until June 13th. But this weekend is June. So that's only a couple of weeks away. So I think it'll work out perfect. I'll finish season 2. Then I'll do the 4 episodes of season 3 and then have the just in time for the next 4 to come out. Oh, Sam, you've done 45? Oh my goodness. That's amazing. So, okay, so Jocelyn's saying, so yes, so you've got these rubber duckies from Dollarama, right? I had never noticed them before until you started talking about them. And then I saw them. I don't know if it was Christmas or Halloween this past whatever holiday it was. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is what Jocelyn's talking about. So you never put away any of the rubber ducks. Also, I have a snowman rubber ducky that sits next to the witch rubber ducky. So that's okay. Your seasons are just cohabitating, which is totally fine all year long. Why not? Debbie, if anybody has Audible, the Bridgerton books are free to listen to right now. Are they really? That is so exciting. Okay, how can I listen and watch at the same time? Yikes. Oh, yeah, I know, and that's what we I mean, the books are always better, aren't they? But when you feel like me and you haven't read the books, then the shows, you don't have anything to compare it to. Oh, Sally, you watched all of the episodes last year. Alyssa, I'm not a romance fan, but I do like Pride and Prejudice. It kind of feels like romance to people who don't like romance. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna have Debbie. That's a good thing to know about the Bridgerton books. I may start listening to those too. That's fun. Liz, you were able to watch the shows. The books are so much better. There you go. See, and I think that's the thing, right? Is once you've read the books, yeah, then sometimes the shows never quite hold up to what you're expecting, right? Okay, do I have anything else to show you? Oh, you know what I was going to show you was so my sweater. So this is the Shiva yarn that I knit my sweater out of, and I bought 2 of those big balls, and there was a lot of yardage on those balls, and this is what I had left over. So I did end up using both balls. So I haven't weighed it, but that was a significant amount. So really, like a ball and a half, I think I could get a sweater for me. I need to weigh these to know for sure. But if you're somebody who wears, I knit myself an extra large. So if you wear a small, you might get away with 1 ball because it has such a lot of yardage for like $45. So it's pretty economical if you can find it. So, oh my gosh, you guys, I know we are like basically at the hour mark here, aren't we? We've got 3 minutes. I have got a couple of extra things I need to show you before we wrap up for the night. I did a little bit more yarn shopping. So while we were at Linda's Craftique, I got 3 more solid balls of sock yarn for whether it's a fade, for stranded, for something something, I don't know. Solids, actually no. I think what I was more thinking was not so much the navy. This will probably be for like a stranded pair, but the green, thought those would look nice together too. But something like cables, something textured socks, something that you want a light solid color so the pattern shows up. It's just Cascade Heritage 75 superwash merino 25 nylon. Nothing super fancy, just again a good dependable sock yarn, and it does feel really really nice. So those came from Linda's Craftique as well, and I'm super excited to do something with those. So those plus the 3 minis came from one store. And at the other store, we went to the Knitting Basket, and this was a store we came across um, a couple of years ago. And she's a lovely she has a, lovely lady, she has a store in her house. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see her this year. She was not feeling well, but her daughter was manning the store, so I give her daughter a lot of credit because I don't think manning the store is something that she does very often, and I don't think knitting is something that she's super familiar with, but she did her best, and she stepped up to help her mom, which was awesome. So my green socks that I just finished, they were knit with this yarn, Comfort Sock and Wool. And they had some colors there that Little Red Mitten did not have. And so I picked up this purple, and it might be for me, but I'm thinking more along the lines this will be a Christmas present for somebody. Don't laugh at that. I know my track record with Christmas gifts, but this year is going to be different. She also had a sale on Croy. So, and I know I'm holding it. I know I'm holding it. They don't match, but I got 2 balls of the black and 2 balls of the gray. So, these are going to either be all right, what am I looking at? Okay. Anyways, I can see fluff on one of these balls. There it is, maybe. And when I look at it in person, I cannot see it. It's driving me crazy. Anyways, this is going to be socks probably for a Christmas gift as well, like the gray, the black. Um, yeah, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with this, but I thought gray and black can never go wrong. And if I want to do socks for my dad, my brother, my son-in-law, they would probably be good ones to have. So I just grabbed those. Surprise, surprise, really with no thought in mind, but you just can never go wrong with um with Croy, with good old neutrals, right? Liz is saying Christmas 2026. I know. I am changing that. I am rewriting my gift giving story. I know. All the other years I've had trouble. But this is the year that I get my act together and I get things done on time, ahead of time, without stress and worry. This is it. I'm telling you. I can feel it. Okay, this is super exciting. This is the last thing I have to show you before we wrap up for the night. Look at this. My Midnight Orchid sock ball. There. Midnight Orchid. Isn't this lovely? Look at how squishy the ball is. Because I have the first sock half done. Are you ready? I have a heel. This was a momentous evening while we were away at the retreat farm. I wanted to do the fish lips kiss heel because I had done it way back when I was podcasting with Adrian and Caroline on the Fiber Friends channel. Adrian loved this heel. I remember I tried it once and I did not enjoy it. And I can't remember why or what happened. The only thing that I can possibly think of is that the fish lips kiss pattern. So if you haven't grabbed it, it's available on Ravelry. It's like $1 or 2. It's like it's just I mean and she has put so much work into it, but it is about 15 pages long. And I don't know if I let that overwhelm me at the time reading through all the pages, and she goes through like about fit and doing a cardboard cutout of your feet, a family member's feet, so you have a size of their foot so you can figure out so you can do gift socks, right? And there's a lot she goes into a lot of detail, and I don't know if that just totally overwhelmed me the first time I did it. So this time I was with 2 knitters who do this heel on a regular basis. They do not do the extra rounds to do like the mini gusset in here, so you've got a little extra room if you have a higher, arch, high um, so I just did the fish lips kiss heel. I didn't read through all of the pattern because they were just there and they just showed me what to do. And as soon as I read it, I'm like, oh, twin stitches. I remember this. And there was twin stitches on the knit side, twin stitches on the purl side, and just having somebody there, she just showed you just do this and you do this. And I'm like, oh, that seems very easy. So I knit it with absolutely no problem. And I'm back. My heel is completely finished. It was easy to knit. It was easy to remember. I just we went through the instructions once, we read through it, and then she showed me how to do it, and I just did it. So I'm like, really, I'm 100% happy with this. If I was being super, super nitpicky, the one side, my stitches might be a smidge looser than the other side, but really, overall, I'm really, really happy with this. Way happier than when I just do a regular short row heel because then I always end up with like little holes all the way up through here. So this one, I'm like, love it way better than just a regular short row heel so far. So I'm going to try this on and see how I like it. I think the other sock, I'm going to do a little research and do the extra rounds to do the little mini gusset. And then I'll just figure out, put each sock on. I don't want to wait till the whole other pair. So I think I'm just going to do it now and then see which one fits better. And then I'll know for my foot when I do the fish lips kiss heel again, if I need to do those extra rounds or if I can skip them. So that is my plan with these socks. So I love the yarn. I love the striping. Love it, love it, love it. The fish lips kiss heel, 2 thumbs up. I don't know what was wrong with me last time. But anyways, it was super successful. It was fun to knit. Loved it. Loved it. So if you're thinking about trying it, absolutely give it a try. Liz, get more 9-inch circular needles. Yes, I should probably do that. Um, oh, I don't know how you can knit all that yarn you buy. Oh, well, I am just going to try. Oh my God. Oh, Jocelyn says, oh my God, I just realized it's still May on Friday. I have a whole extra week before we check in. Jocelyn, you are right. We do have an extra week because I was thinking that we were going to be chatting this Friday night as well. So we do have a whole other week. Yes, that might come in handy. Fantastic. Yeah, so Jocelyn, it won't be this week. It'll be next week. You're right. Okay, Alyssa says Richardson season 3 is making Kobe lesbian Terry girl, Penelope actress in Derby Girls, and her character is a lesbian. Oh, okay. So let me read that again. Um, okay, so her character in what's that, Derry Girl? Sam, did I reach last comment? No. About 45. Oh, oh, you did pottery. Oh, that's cool. Oh, Sally, yes, I saw your finished Midnight Orchid socks. They looked so good. You did a heel flap and gusset on those, didn't you? It looked great. Bishop's Kiss heel pattern is so intense. It has so much in the way of helpful info. It does, Jocelyn. You're right. I think that's the thing with it is don't get overwhelmed with it and just realize that I think it's really only one page is the actual instructions for the heel. The rest is just really helpful information to know, but you don't need it to actually knit the heel. Oh, okay, Liz. Yes, we are gonna wrap up because yeah, we are over our 1 hour time allotment. So, okay, you guys, that is it. So I have had a fantastic week last week, mostly because I was on vacation and I just did wonderful, wonderful things. And I ended up fitting in a lot of knitting time towards the end of the week, and I got 3 finishes done. So we'll see how the rest of this week goes now that I'm back to real life and back to work and all the things, but I am still hoping that I carry this finishing momentum through to this week. So I'm going to wind up these balls here so I can work on another faded pair of socks, and we will chat next Monday night again. I'm hoping I've got some good starts on some shorty socks. So just shorty socks. So I'm hoping that we'll get them done. Oh, we didn't even have time to talk about Sock Madness. Anyways, all I was going to say about Sock Madness is it finished. The last pattern, um, oh, did it come out like Saturday night, like super, super early Sunday morning? And the round was done in like 14 hours or something like that. Yeah, it was super, super fast. And so maybe next week we will talk about that a little bit more. Anyways, you guys have a great week. Thanks for voting. Thanks for hanging out with me here and chatting. It's always a great way to start the week. And we'll be back here again next Monday. You can vote again. There'll be something new. Maybe I'll switch it up and it won't be socks again. We'll see. You just never know. It could be socks again. So, everybody, have a great week. Happy knitting, and we'll see you all next week. Good night.